want to talk a little bit more about the differences between Florida Medicaid's income test and asset test. Because these different income limits and asset limits they're similar by way of just the numbers are similar, and I find that a number of our clients sometimes get confused when they're thinking about when to apply these numbers in different situations. So I'm not going to get into, because I've done that in other videos and I do that during our consultations, I'm not going to get into what we do when someone's income is too high or when they have too much by way of assets, but suffice it to say that we're very good at legally and ethically protecting that income and assets when people aren't yet eligible for Florida long-term care Medicaid, and we can assist in those situations. So this is really just focused on really the differences between the income test and the asset test. So in order to be eligible for one of Florida's long-term care Medicaid programs, whether that's help paying for care at home, or whether it's help paying for care in an assisted living facility or skilled nursing facility or nursing home, every Floridian must satisfy two separate but very important financial tests: the income test and the asset test. The income test indicates that if a Floridian's applying for Medicaid long-term care and their income exceeds a certain amount, that number in 2023, now this number changes from time to time, but in 2023, when this video was recorded, the income cap or the income test limit is $2,742 per month from all income sources combined. So they count Social Security, they count pensions, they count IRA distributions, however you have money that's coming in regularly, they are going to add all that up together, and that's going to count as your income. And if it exceeds $2,742 from all those sources combined, you need to utilize something called a Miller Trust or a qualified income trust. Okay, so the income limit is $2,742. That is only income. We're now moving over to the asset limit. In Florida, if you're a single individual, the asset limit is $2,000 in what Medicaid considers to be countable resources, or what they consider to be an asset. Now, not everything's considered an asset, and even when people do have too much by way of what is considered an asset, we are able to assist in that situation. But when we submit an application, we're going to demonstrate that our client has no more than $2,000 to their name. That is different than income, right? If you have too much by way of assets, that doesn't mean you put the money into an income trust, because that's different. Assets are just money that's sitting in your bank account after you have received your income and after you've spent money on whatever your expenses are. Whatever's left in the bank, brokerage, and a bunch of other sources that are a little bit too long-winded for this video, that is an asset, different than income. When people have too much by way of income, we have one set of strategies we use to deal with that. When people have more than $2,000 in assets, we have another set of strategies that we use to deal with that scenario. I also want to talk about income again for a second, because another thing that people seem to get confused is when I say Medicaid looks at all income sources combined, I'm talking gross income. What do I mean by that? Well, the money that's deposited into you or your loved one's bank account every month from Social Security, as an example, that is net income. That's not gross income, because if you were to look at your Social Security benefits verification letter, which they send once a year, every year, you would see that there's a top line number. They're going to know your income is this amount of money, but we deduct automatically from your Social Security check, we deduct some money to help pay for your Medicare Part B premiums. Typically, that's $164.90, but it can certainly be higher depending on your level of income. What's deposited in your bank account is net income, not gross income. So when we're calculating whether or not someone's income level exceeds $2,742 in the year 2023, we have to add back in the income that might be deducted. And other income sources sometimes have deductions as well, which is why when you're working with our office, we don't accept the bank statement as proof of what you or your loved one's income happens to be. We're going to ask for information from the source because that's what the state of Florida is going to demand anyway. They're not going to trust what the bank account says. So again, income, looking at gross income, assets is a different concept altogether. Hope that clarifies things a little bit. And if you have any other questions about the income test or asset test anywhere in the state of Florida, or you want help getting you or your loved one access to help paying for home care or facility care anywhere in the state, please set up a consultation. If you like this video, if you found it informative, please like it, please share it, please subscribe to the channel, help us get good information out to good people. Thank you.